the next step is, what do? You have this one foe. They're not all attacking you. You have one combatant on you at the moment.
When I look around myself, do I see any spot that would give me some kind of cover of my back, or a pile of stones?
Right. Well, if we look at that, let's look at that pyramid map. Let's take a look at that pyramid map, because I have a pretty good idea of what I had in mind, which was that you were on one of those four corners that are flat spots.
Yes.
And so you could either manage to get your back up against the corner of the next level, right? So an inner corner, if you see what I mean. There are a couple of nooks there, or maybe the point of that corner, as you prefer. Or if you want to be a little more risky, you could actually try and get to the wall. At least nobody can get you from the wall, although there is a drop.
Yeah. Actually, that spot I passed with the part of the temple that's going to be renovated next, with the piles of,
if you look at
whatever, the top, scaffolding and
if you look at
whatnot.
The top, if you look at our map and orienting it so that the words at the bottom are readable, the top left square of the pyramid is perfect, because do you see that pile of rubble at the lower wall?
Yes.
That's exactly what I was talking about, and that's where people were gathered to be singing.
So I'm going to back into that inner corner between the rubble and the next level.
I see. Okay, so you're going to wedge yourself in there. Okay, good.
I actually am. And I'm going to defend that spot myself as long as I can.
Excellent. Well, the creature, recognizing that it hasn't, truly managed to knock you to the ground like a good prey animal would have had its feet taken out from under it, and would be landing heavily on the ground right now, which is right when you pounce on it and then try and get your teeth into its neck. You have not cooperated.
No.
And have scuttled backward.
And I don't mean to cooperate in the future either.
So if you have scuttled backward, and so this creature is, basically now lunging toward you on its hind legs, using its hind legs to propel itself, and grabbing with its hands, because it needs to get into that little nook and drag you out of it. So what shall you do? You do not have to. You can name your point of where you're going to hit it, and with what.
So I'm going to. I have dagger as it isn't called skill, but you know what I mean.
Right.
I'm going to use that, and if they try to jump at me, I'm probably going to try and go for the soft parts,
I hear
like
you.
stomach.
So the point is, though, that my impression is that you are somewhat guarded by your environment that you have backed into, and so therefore it's the hands that are coming out to get you. So that doesn't really matter very much. It's just a special effect in choreography. You're just going to roll to hit regardless.
Yeah.
So, right. So what do we get with your dagger?
So when attacking, a player rolls either his weapon's damage rating or his skill, whichever is lower.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me find whatever.
The dagger isn't that great, but we will see. So Noah?
Okay. So Helma, the weapon for dagger does 9 damage, which I think is lower than your dagger skill, right?
Right. Well,
so you're going to be rolling 9.
Yeah.
To try to damage.
That seems unnecessarily harsh, in my opinion.
Oh, I did a great
Oh, a
result.
great result. Excellent. Well, you check off one of these grades that it's got here. And it, you basically you stab it right through a hand.
Well,
And it, yeah, and the Vargar like recoils and shrieks, ah, right, and is kind of looks at you and like all the fangs are bared, in rage, but that really hurt. Um, and Noah, as you're looking at the damage, you can tell that I just checked off one of the categories for the damage, and you should recognize that you really hurt it. I mean, it can't walk on that paw. Um, so yeah, that was quite an expert. I just love it, like the little assassin robots, kind of
killer.
like what chunk. Oh, there, did that hurt? Right. So okay. So yes, you quite
I was going
expertly.
to establish what I go for.
Yeah, yeah. And so the Vargar backs off a little bit and looks at its companions in surprise. It hurt me. And
And it's going to stare at him with wide eyes,
mhm.
being intentionally offensive,
Oh, excellent. That's intimidate. Roll.
because that's a cat,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Intimidate.
which I most certainly don't have. So
You
where
don't.
it is,
Oh no.
but I don't even find it. Wait.
Right. It's under stamina or strength or something like that. Or maybe it's under charm.
No, neither.
Okay.
Am I completely blind?
Noah, where's intimidate? Is it no bully, not intimidate. Bully, bully, bully.
Oh,
Wait,
it is. It's
bully
under
is under
strength.
strength.
Mhm.
Half of it is a 5.
Okay.
Yes. Good.
That one's not going back in.
Good. I'm
Yes,
fine.
that one's not going back
I'm
in.
staying
It's
where
fine.
I am,
It's
and just
right. And so then the others are kind of looking at him, but they're prowling and angry and blasphemer, it's interfering with our holy rites and stuff like that. And you're a little busy from a sort of bird's eye view, um, having bathed and rested. By the way, bathing and tending to your person, coming back to the temple with Ogox, how attentive were you toward your sword and its location that entire time for Noah?
Not at all. I'm
Oh
afraid.
no, that's okay. It has been carefully tended to. So by the time you come back to the temple with Ogox, who, by the way, has through through social means has accumulated a little retinue, right, of helpers, um, is parading back with you, and it may take you a moment to suddenly, as you guys see a big ruckus happening on the pyramid, you might even like go for your sword.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's on the other side. No, it's not there either. Right.
Quick, my sword. I in my head, I'm assuming it was taken away to be sharpened and cleaned and polished.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But quick, I need it. I should go and see what this commotion is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Algox is like, what on earth is that about? Especially because some of the other Vargar are shouting out something like, the other Vargar are not responding positively. They are rushing up the steps, These ones are the ones in kind of non-ritualized clothes, very ordinary looking working, workday clothes, even though they don't, meaning no clothes or just straps or stuff. Vargar, who didn't, they didn't dress up to come do ritual stuff, and they weren't standing around in a group in any way. They were just individuals, but they seem very upset and are going up the steps. So 3 or 4 of them are headed up the steps. One of them stopping to pick up like a rock. So the ones who are having the big commotion up there, they definitely look like they look like Ogox, basically, in the way that they're dressed and acting. Ogox is like, what on earth is going on? So
the problem isn't Ogox, it's these retainers. They were clear, they've clearly shirked their duty. So I'm grabbing one of these, these attendant priests and saying, like, my sword, where is it?
Okay. Roll bully.
Bring it right now.
Roll bully.
Which I do have.
Yes, I imagine you would.
Yes. I got 2 free specialties, and that was the one I went for. Okay. And I'm rolling on 19, so I'm feeling good about my odds. That is great.
Okay. The result of that bully is for the person that you just picked up and said, bring me my sword, or where is my sword? And the person points, with sort of a shaking finger at the temple and says, it's in the vault. It's been put away. It's been put away. I mean, you can't have it. And kind of you don't blame me. You're not supposed to have that.
Right.
Right. And so yes, it is not to hand, put it that way. It is not immediately available.
I just snarl and say, I'll deal with you later, and then I'm gonna bound up the step toward the commotion.
Perfect. And so you will get there. Let's look at our map. And in fact, should you want to make a leap from the steps up onto the wall, feel free. Do you see what I mean? The steps going up, you're going and then that level. You know which square we're talking about, right? That they're in, right? So do you see that if you go up those stairs next to it, you could actually leap from the stairs onto that wall?
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna do that and peer over the edge, look down on that square.
Well, let's make a roll on that leap, Mr. Strength.
Right. So this is
a
jump under agility. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I do have jump from just from my speeds. Okay.
Now, some of the others that have been rushing up there, they did not jump. They actually were booking up the stairs, so they're going to have to come around. You're taking the short route.
Nice. That is a great result.
Oh, fantastic. You perch perfectly exactly where you wanted. Now, with a superior or an awesome, I might even treat that as a augment for like getting down in there properly. Great just means that, well, great's better than good. You know what? You'll get a +1 to some other maneuver that you do next because of your placement. Okay. And so basically you've done like an augment roll to place yourself perfectly, look down. Quite dramatic, I might add, right? So, and you can see what's going on. You can see that they have backed 13 into that little nook there. You can see that nobody's, for a bunch of savage Vargar, they seem to be behaving very tamely for some reason and not. Then again, it's a little tight in there. It's not really, they're chase and pounce predators. They are not, burrowing,
Nice.
They'd rather go after the one that's desperately fleeing, not the one that's dug itself in somewhere. So, but you don't, unless you really want to figure things out and take an action to perceive, I'm not going to go into the other details that the player knows about. But that's the situation that you can spot. So a couple of things.
Right.
Actions from both of you is what I want.
Can I ask one quick question, just as clarification?
Sure. Uh-huh.
So I think I just missed this in the earlier scene, but the Vargar which sect are the Vargar who are attacking 13 from? Are they from my sect or from the other sect?
Yes, they are.
Oh, all right.
There was a tiny misunderstanding.
Okay.
Seems like it.
I mean, I think my action is.
There's a lot of things that fed into it. The fact that you didn't really make a good impression on the community to start. Shkazak's not there to protect you. I mean, right.
Did my best. She said, "I'm welcome to worship."
That's right. But of course, Shkazak can. Let's bear in mind that it's evident to the viewer, if not to your character, that Shkazak is clearly of the other sect. Right? The plain ones, the individual ones, the Protestants, basically. Right? So...
really didn't get the details here.
Right. Uh-huh. So then those are the ones who are rushing up to defend you, by the way. You're about to see a full-scale brawl. So...
well, we'll see.
Yep. Okay, so... Now that I've clarified that to Noah and enjoyed my little theological reference footnote, sorry, Noah, continue.
I mean, I think I'm going to leap off this wall, in front of 13, get down low, and, get into cat fighting pose and just prepare to, leap on someone with my claws out. I don't have a weapon, so I'm fighting bare clawed.
And so, let's see. I'm debating on what to do. Should this be a jump again, or is it more of a social impression you want to make, or is this more like a literal, preparatory and about to attack?
Right. I think I would. So I think what Theoxxa would like is for it to be a bully role where she's just trying to get these cats to fucking back off.
We're going to treat your previous jump as kind of a double jump, right? So that gives you a +1 to your bully. So roll bully and do a +1 column shift.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to lead to a very interesting policy meeting among the temple authorities in a moment, right?
So I rolled passable, and then with the column shift, it's up to good.
Excellent. All right. So what that has done is they don't all fall back. Remember, these are Vargar. They're stubborn. You're also working against a penalty. So but the point is that they mill about and don't look like they're about to attack. But there's a whole lot of grumbling and who do you think you are? That thing, disrupted the sacred ceremony, and there may even be an untoward, an inappropriate reference to, what you think you can get away with just because ...